So when should I propose? Is a question you may have heard. Is a question you may have heard from maybe our clients, maybe clients from other companies you've worked for. I know that we've had many calls.
Indeed.
And a primary topic, something that they really want to talk about in that particular call is, should they propose? When should they propose? How should they do it? Should they get a ring? Should they get down on one knee?
For the first trip.
Should they get down on two knees?
Two knees is like,
what should they do?
Please, just go away. Yes, very common question. You're right. And I think that people like men in general, they want to be like very assertive. And we always tell them, you need to be a leader of the relationship, you need to be assertive. But sometimes they get too much. They want to fix everything. They want to know all the terms and conditions. You know, they want to know that if they come to Ukraine, like they have a tour, 10 days, 15 dates, after that proposal, then starting a visa process, and like if something goes wrong in this system, like they are really like, like something is wrong and like it's a scam. So of course you understand that you are dating in Ukraine, and this is a little bit, I don't know, is it right to say like artificial circumstance? It's not like at home. It's not like when
it's not normal.
It's not normal. It's not like after your date you go to your car and just, bring the girl to your place, or like going home by yourself, or like, I don't know, meeting her and going on a getaway weekend. It is different. It is very, very different. And there is no rights and wrongs about like when should you propose and when should you give her this promise ring. But there's one rule that you need to follow, is that not to do it on the first week when you just met. Not to, right? Like not to do it like when you just met and when you know each other a little bit, and when your feelings of course are very, very high, but you don't know what is the background of these feelings. Like you don't know how, like, is the fundament of this
I think that there are the rules are very fluid when it comes to dating in Ukraine. Everybody is different, and what we're doing is not normal dating. Regardless of what you've seen, it is not normal. But there are some boundaries that you have to stay within, right? And, everything that we talk about it from a practical point of view. And I don't really know why I kind of know why we talk about it in that sense, But I don't know why other companies don't do it that way. And maybe because it's easier to sell love, and it's easier to sell destiny and all that sort of stuff, and it's easy to get people sold on emotions. But I guess when I started my channel, it was all about trying to find the truth, so I think that's why we base everything on being practical. When it comes to proposing to a woman, there is a little bit of practicality to it if you were to do it in the first week, which we don't recommend, but on the second trip or third trip, there is some practicality behind that, and I'll mention that in a minute. But in terms of spending the rest of your life with the same woman that you've only known for 7, 8, 9 days, maybe on the second trip, that's not practical, okay? You need to get to know the person a lot more. When I say like there is a practical side to that, it's because that process takes a long time. So it's not that bad to start it, because you can always call it off, I suppose. What do you think about that? Like you can start the process, it's going to take some time, you're going to see each other on multiple trips before, during that process. There are some downsides to doing that way as well. But if you really do believe that that this is a good option, all of your criteria has been met. She's madly in love with you. You have this burning desire to be with each other. Okay, it's a good place to start.
Yes, that's right. And unfortunately, because of the COVID, because of pandemic, and everything takes a lot longer. And of course, I do not recommend to do like this proposal on the first trip. It's ridiculous. It's really like if you just met, it just doesn't make sense, and you will actually you will be regretting that. On the second trip, maybe better. I think on a third trip, because like you will already overcome some crises, like some moments that are difficult to overcome in your relationship. First,
also the distance
and the distance as well. So for me, if you ask me, like if you really want to know the dates and times, like I think the third trip together should be the time when you propose. Because like then you already know each other more. Of course, like there are some guys who calling us from some other companies, and like one of the guys who you guys may see somewhere online, but anyway, like he is engaged and he didn't even like kiss with her properly, like, and they like hyping around that, like, you know, couple engaged, visa. But like when you talk to him personally, he say, you know, but she's very like old fashioned, and she's like, no
sex before marriage.
No sex before
in fact
marriage.
No sex after marriage with this one, I think.
You know, it's like you have to understand, you have to be adult, you know, guys. You need to like you need to believe in your beliefs and not eating some information that somebody tried to give you, you know, like be strong enough to say, no, this is not for me. I want how I want it. I see that how I see that. And so of course, like, you know, it's like you need to have a balance, you need to have a compromise. But honestly, like what some of the companies are selling, it's horrible. It's not relationship. It's like, I don't know, it's business. It's like it's commercial, it's sales, it's advertising. Real relationship, you need to remember that it is a feeling between two people. There is no other way around that.
I firmly believe this, right? That if, doesn't matter what age you are, whether you're in your 30s, whether you're in 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s, you should not start the K1 visa process until you have intimacy, right?
And by intimacy, like maybe not 1,000, like different, like there's different, you know,
levels
in intimacy.
But
yes, there's some, like we know some stories when, you know, like for example, the sex itself, like, you know, it's not, and sometimes it's from women's side, sometimes it's from men's side, and it's okay.
And it's different
and
through
it's different
age.
Through age. And we talking about else, like intimacy. It's like when you're close to each other, when you really feel each other, when you have this desire to always like touch each other, kiss each other, and nobody tell about like just jumping into bed, because like it seems like all the planet around just this particular topic. But there are so many different things that you can do beside that, you know, that you can do beside that and feel that it is your person. So if you didn't have that, and you think that it will happen when you will get married,
you've obviously never been married before.
Yeah.
But I'll just say this here, it's just popped into my mind. I've said this a few times with guys on calls before, is that if you start a K1 visa process with a woman that you haven't been intimate with, you don't have that closeness, but you believe that, you know, you need to lock her down somehow by running through this visa process, here's something that may give you a bit of a shake-up. Just because you invest your time putting the visa K1 in place, you've paid for it, you've done all the processes, she has zero investment into the K1 process. So if it doesn't work out, she can call it off. She hasn't done anything to be invested in this whole process, right? If you've initiated it, which is great, but she's gone, yeah, whatever, yeah, I'll do whatever. If you haven't had an intimate relationship with this woman, what's happening through that K1 visa process? Well, you're obligated now to support her in times of trouble. Maybe she doesn't have money because of COVID, whatever. You're now obligated to do that. And we've heard stories of guys who have not been intimate, and throughout this 1 year of the K1 process, they've bought iPhones. They've done a bunch of other things to help her, which you should if you decide that you are at the point where you need to start the K1 visa process. You should. You've committed yourself. But has she committed herself? This is the thing you have to ask yourself. Like what I'm saying is like don't do dumb shit. You know, if you are intimate, sexual relationship with a woman, okay, move forward, because you can always start the K1 process and then you can cancel it later if you want to do that, okay? If you're thinking you're starting the K1 process and then at some point in time maybe it'll get intimate, what you're doing is you're creating a covert contract, which we talked about in another video. I'll put a link up here about covert contracts. Don't do that. You'll end up with heartache. They always do.
And I want to say that there's one very painful truth to the life, is that relationship not really getting much better or different, like whatever you want to say here, after you getting, like, you signed the paper and you got married. Like if the relationship is not the way you want it on the stage of dating, it will never get better. You will settle, maybe you will sacrifice on something, you will compromise on something, but that relationship are the best what they can get on the dating part. Like this I can promise.
Do you know why this is? From an evolutionary
Why?
point of view. I'm not going to talk about it in this video here because it'll go on for too long, but maybe I'll make another video about it.
Will you tell me now?
Nah.
Okay, then I will wait with you guys for the video. But it's true.
No, it is
You
true.
will also get no. You will also get no.
What, after marriage?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
What I was going to say is that like you need to get what you want while you're dating, because if you're not getting what you want and you think that one day maybe it will get better, it will not.
Well, here's the thing, right? So look, if you look at it from,
You will tell us now.
I won't tell the whole. But no, it's not that difficult to understand. It's pretty easy to summarize. Is that a woman knows how to lock down a man, right? She knows how to do that, and it's through sex, right? If she's not willing to lock you down through sex, ask yourself the question: does she see value in you? If the answer is no, okay, move on to a woman that sees value in you. That's and just because she sees value in you doesn't mean it's going to go the distance. But at the end of the day, if a woman is not willing to have sex with you or be intimate with you before you start this process, just ask yourself the question, like, is it a good idea to start that process?
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Because we see,
but not again, not necessarily like sex itself, because like I know this, like every situation is individual and different. So, but we talk about closeness. Like if the person, like there's a story like, oh, she doesn't want to kiss in the public. Yes, maybe like sometimes guys are rushing, like they're really rushing too much and they want to but again, I've been working in June with the older gentleman, and I was like shocked every date, like he was like easy, like he just grab your hand and they go, and there's no other way around that. Like the lady would just not like, she would be like okay, cool. But she feels good.
But that's because she sees value in him, and she knows to lock him down. She has to do what a woman has to do in a relationship. Like they're not like it's all part of biology. They know how to lock down the man. That's it. It's not the locking down the man is not like holding hands and going out for coffee with him.
Yes.
They get it. So if that's not happening to you, I certainly would not ever be going through the process of which is a stressful time. It's stressful, costs a lot of money, and like I said before, she has zero investment into it, okay? If she hasn't shown you any intimacy or anything, zero investment into it. Just think about that before you start filling out the paperwork and all that sort of stuff, okay? It happens to a lot of guys.
Yeah, but guys, stay positive. Everything is, it is possible, and it is available, and it is not that difficult to achieve if you are reasonable, if you're realistic, and if you use the right resources and sources to date in Ukraine. So please take care, value yourself, know what you want, and come visit Hard Target. We see you guys next time.
We'll see you next time.